Welcome back to the Carolina Justice Report. This is Rainey Romero with the lovely law firm, chatting again with my favorite ladies, attorneys Sarah Austin and Amy Lawrence. How are you doing today?
Doing good.
Good. How are you?
Stick with us. We're going to go into a deep dive with the Murdaugh mysteries about where is the money. So today we're kind of chatting all about where all of this money has gone with this whole mystery involving the Murdaugh murders. So we've had 2 episodes prior to this kind of chatting just about what has happened so far. But this one is all about all this money that seems to be mysteriously gone, right? So where are we at with this?
So what we know as of to date, and there are constantly more, this is just from the charges that are pending, but it's a rolling tally, but we're right at $9 million of missing money that Alec Murdaugh has taken, and Corey Fleming. And so, this opens up a whole question. So we know that this money was flowing through his law firm, right? Mm-hmm. And it goes through his trust account. And what people don't really understand is, so he was telling, from what I understand, he was telling his clients, oh, we're going to set up this, like, either he wasn't telling that the cases were settled at all, or was saying that he was going to set up this essentially a trust, a structured settlement. Mm-hmm. And the company that a lot of attorneys use in the Southeast, and I feel really bad for them because their name has been brought into this whole situation, is a company called Forge Consulting. Mm-hmm. And what they do is they set up structured settlements, and we do it in children cases. We do it sometimes in Medicare cases to make sure they keep their Medicare, and we do it so they get a payment. So like with kid cases, it grows interest. They invest it, and they get this much money at 18, this much at 19, this much at 20, help pay for college. Mm-hmm. They get some at 25. You can structure it any way you want to do, because nobody wants to give $100,000 to a kid when they're 18. Mm-hmm. And so parents and we and financial planners all sit down and try to come up with the best result for the kids that we're dealing with, or whoever it may be. And one of the things about Forge is we never touch any of the money when it comes to Forge.
Yeah.
Which is the whole point of it.
And I think it's just to even address the situation of like, where did the money go? Right. Is like, where did the money come from?
Right.
And the money came from the victims. So Alec Murdaugh's law firm, he represented the victims, I guess, that were stolen from, that we know of. But his law firm, when you sign the fee agreement, you sign a fee agreement. It's not Sarah Austin is my lawyer. You sign a fee agreement with the lovely law firm.
Right.
So they signed a fee agreement with PMPED.
Right.
And Alec Murdaugh represented them. And got them these settlements. And that's the one thing about this whole thing I can't say. These lawyers were doing a great job. Like they got a lot of money in from
right.
insurance companies or whoever for their injured clients. And so you've got injured people hiring PMPED, Alec Murdaugh representing those people. He gets assigned those cases or however that
right.
works in their system. He gets these big settlements and these checks come to the law firm. And they go into the law firm's trust account. And then like Amy's saying, for any reason, sometimes, lawyers can just cut the check right to the injured victim. Mm-hmm. And you'll sit down and you'll go over the settlement and, this person was hurt in a car accident. You go over, this is attorney's fees. This was the costs of your case. These are the medical bills we're going to pay. And here's your check for $100,000 or whatever it is.
In our firm, and this is the way it's supposed to be done in every firm, you have an accounting for every penny that is received from an insurance company. Mm-hmm. So, and it's looked at by a paralegal, and double checked. It's looked at by the associate attorney that handled the case, and then it's looked at by a partner. And then on top of that, we also have a CPA every month that reconciles to make sure every penny is accounted for every client.
Wow.
So if you get in $75,000 from an insurance company on a case, we know where every penny of that $75,000 went. Every penny.
So then
and
how
you
could
should
this
know
happen?
too, as a client, you're going to know too.
We give you
So Justin Lovely
would,
if this happened at our law firm,
it would happen.
I would be fired at a minimum.
Choked, maybe.
But this would never happen, right? Because we have all these different checks. You've got paralegals, and then I go in and I talk to my paralegal, make sure all the money's right. Because if I give it to Justin and it's wrong, he's going to be asking me all these questions.
Yeah.
Holding it up. Justin looks at it, checks all the numbers, and then disperses the money, and then our CPA will look at it every month and just make sure that our trust account numbers are matching up, because we don't want to have to report to the bar that we don't know where this money went,
Right.
or we're holding this money for some reason we can't explain.
Right.
But we also don't want to have to explain that to the client, because they've got a right to know.
Right.
And
Their
so
money.
So then how could this happen? They're not doing the checks, or they are, and
couldn't
it's
have
being
happened
overlooked.
without a lot of people knowing.
Knowing.
And that's what gets into Amy. So in those cases where we can just give the client the money, you would never hire a company like Forge Consulting. But there's a lot of reasons. There could be any number of reasons, like there are children, or the court can require it goes into a structured settlement or something like that. And you hire Forge to do the structured settlement. But the whole purpose of them is to keep the money tax free. They consider
It's at an
tax
arm length. We never
implications.
touch the money.
They consider Medicaid, they consider all that kind of stuff. And so in order to do that, the settlement money has to go directly from the insurance company to Forge. And it will never even pass through our trust account.
Right.
And that's the way that works up. So it really is inexplainable how this happened, and the partners didn't know if
Yeah.
they had the trust account
Right.
and there are checks being written from their trust account to Forge. Should have been a red flag, because
So
I
as
feel
I'm,
like maybe they
that
just weren't
doesn't
looking.
happen.
I'm
you know?
listening to the Murdaugh Murder podcast, and I don't have headphones on, but it feels like I did. I was in the car.
Yeah.
I've got a court case in the upstate, and I've got to go do a deposition. So I've got this long drive. I'm listening to it, and I'm getting so mad. My neck is turning so red because I'm like so angry because and I called like two of my lawyer friends who do a lot of personal injury. I said, have you ever? And they've been practicing law about 15 years like I have. I'm at 14. I said, in all your years of practicing personal injury, have you ever written a check to Forge Consulting? And they said, no. Okay, I'm not
defeats the whole
losing my mind.
purpose.
That defeats the whole purpose. There should never be a check to Forge Consulting because the cost of their fees is borne on the client, and they're the ones who accept the money. It's all in their paperwork. They accept their fee out of it to manage it, to invest it and all that stuff. They handle all those things.
Right.
We've even had situations at our firm where we settle the case, and then thinking we can give the money to the client, something happens where we have to hire Forge. We've had to send the settlement check back to the insurance company.
Never putting it into our trust, send it back and say, no.
So that they could reissue the checks.
Void it, right,
to
and send them to Forge.
the right
Wow.
place.
Or
And so
whoever we use.
just if I ever presented a disbursement sheet to Justin, who cuts the checks at our firm, with Forge, $95,000, he would be like, whoa, what is this? And our accountant would be like, what the heck is this? And so that would be caught within
Seconds of looking at a
if it
piece of paper.
If it even made it out of the office, which it wouldn't, it would be caught that month at the accounting for the trust account.
And
Right.
I think this is the part that this is what that makes me stutter. I'm so upset. It makes me so angry because whoever is in charge, and it's all the partners are responsible for that trust account, just like Justin and I are both partners, and we are both equally responsible for that trust account. Yeah, not it, right? Unfortunately, we're just as responsible. And so we take it so seriously because we're dealing with other people's money, and you can be reckless with your own, but you are not reckless with other people's money.
Especially injured people.
Yeah, these are people who need need it the most. Matter of fact, it makes me so mad. And so if they know better, that is a very, very big, very old, very prestigious law firm. Their law firm is nicer than the courthouse that they practice in. And they know better. And when you see, as an attorney, any check written to Forge, that is the biggest red flag, and that went on for years.
And no one questioned it.
Life gets ugly, justice is lovely, the love